Today I'm going to talk about cis actors playing trans characters in a movie or TV show or whatever, and my thoughts on that. As someone who has been in theater before and all that stuff, we played different roles and all that stuff, so here's some arguments that people come up with to for anyone can play any role, is that just because someone's not a serial killer doesn't mean they can't play that role and all that stuff. So what pretty much acting is you're pretty much playing make-believe, so I don't exactly have a problem with cis people playing trans characters. What I think should happen is obviously research and all that stuff be also it'll research helping other people understand the actual difficulties and all that stuff that happen with trans people, which will make them a better actor in playing for that role. Also, there's a lot of research during playing a role, so that can actually help broaden cis people's minds into the trans culture. So what we shouldn't do is, what I want happen more and more is actually trans actors being able to play any role. I don't care. I do not want us to be limited based on the fact that we are typecasted as trans actor. Here's an example of someone who does not play trans roles but is trans. Chaz Bono. He was an actor in American Horror Story, Cult season with Cult, and he just played a character. Who knows if he was cis or trans? Like, he was probably cis. Just saying, he was probably cis. So honestly, because he was a Trump fan, so I'm just like, probably cis. Just saying. So the thing is that we can't just define ourselves as a trans actor. We want to define ourselves in broad general that we are just an actor, and we are not just being like typecast as just a trans actor, which also will limit some of the things that we are able to do. Like, I know that the new Spider-Man movie has a couple of trans actors come in there. So there's that part, which is amazing. And I saw a huge blow up on social media, but I'm like, in a way, I'm just like, okay, they're actors though. Yes, they're trans people who are actors, but still, I love how it is a huge thing, but also we don't make a huge thing out of certain people playing the I didn't hear any news when Chaz Bono was in Cult. I didn't hear any news. She's in season 4 Freak Show. She's the very tall lady. I can't remember what the character's name was or her name personally. I'm sorry, I can't remember. Something Eve, I don't know. No, but what I'm saying is that, and those trans actors, but they're playing cis roles. And then let's continue talking about American Horror Story. Let's go to season 5, Hotel. I did not see a single person have an issue with Liz Taylor, played by Dennis O'Hare. A cis male playing a trans female. I never saw any issues at all, because he portrayed it very good. First off, I did love it. I really did love his acting as her. So that's a thing, is that we don't complain about certain people, but we complain about others. And I brought this up a few times with some of my friends about cis people playing trans characters. I do believe trans people should be able to play their own or anyone else. I don't think we should be typecast into playing only trans people. That is the thing. And many people who have actually gone past that, and they don't just, like I said, Chaz Bono does not do trans characters, just because he's not being typecast, which is smart on his point. But if you want to play trans characters, you can also do that, but also you're kind of being limited in a way. But overall, I don't care if cis people play trans characters or trans people play trans characters. I would like that trans people actually get a fair chance to play their own type of character, instead of just being like, it's automatically going to a cis person, which no. But I don't exactly have an issue with cis people playing trans roles, because it is all not real, and it actually gives them more empathy, because of all the research and all that stuff that they are doing. If they don't do the research, then I don't think it's good for them to be doing it. This one movie, it came out a few years ago, About Right, or Three Generations, depending on which one you looked for, where the director, I believe it was very problematic, and I believe misgendered Ray, who is the main character, who was played by a cis character, and all that stuff. So the director was not, apparently didn't research that much about trans people, because it was, from what I was hearing and hearing about that time, was it was very problematic and it was not that good. But I didn't mind the movie, to be honest. I didn't mind it all that bad. It was like, it's not the greatest, it's not the worst. So I was just like that. And so it's like, but the director was problematic, so it kind of was just like, all the people who are in the actual film, who are going to be working around the character who is playing a trans character, needs to also do their own research, in my opinion, and so we don't misgender and all that stuff. Also, as a person who actually did a little bit of story writing, like a screenplay, who I actually had mine performed at school, I actually had the option to, I was able to choose who played who played the main character, which was a trans person, and I was offered to have a female or a male play the character, and I chose male. I knew none of it was going to be cis, or they were all going to be, I knew all the people were going to be cis, but I was just like, whatever. I wasn't going to have a female do it because it is a trans guy, not a trans woman. If it was a trans woman, I would have a woman play it. But I was asked what I wanted them to be played as, and I chose male because that is what the character was. He's a guy. So I was just like, no, I want a guy playing it. So there's another issue with cis actors just playing trans people, is the fact that they play the entire character, and typically if it's a trans guy, it's played by a woman, and if it's a trans woman, it's played by a guy. Alright, so it's just like, certain things you like, let's say for, it could be a trans woman, it could be a trans guy. It's kind of pretty easy to do that. Just look up actors who are trans and all that stuff. But if they have, like, my issue is that what they could have done was for About Ray, I'm just talking about About Ray, is a young trans guy. But the issues were like, for some people it's very dysphoric, because they did have a scene where they were binding with I believe it was Ace Bandage, which I can't remember. Don't bind with Ace Bandage. That might have been a different movie. I'm merging my trans movies together, I'm sorry. What is the movie? The one with Brain and Tina, Boys Don't Cry. I think that might have been it, to be honest. Where it was just kind of, where they claim that it might be very dysphoria inducing and all that stuff, which is their reason for having a cis actor play the role. But some people are not that dysphoric, so overall, give trans actors a chance to play, first off, any role. Well, I don't want us to be typecasted, but also just give maybe first shots to see and look for trans actors playing trans characters. But if, like, actually give it a shot, don't be just like, nope, we're gonna have a cis person play the trans character. But if you just give them a shot and all that stuff, because I do understand how acting is it's not real and all that stuff, but it'll give, and I love how it actually gives cis people a chance to understand and in a sort of way live in the trans person's shoes in their own way through the character's story, which is one thing I love about acting, is you live through a different person's eyes, pretty much. So there's that. So overall, I don't really mind cis people playing trans roles, but I also want trans people to have more of a chance to be in, like, any role, period, not just being typecast to trans roles, which a lot of people are unfortunately typecast into those roles, and some are not, and some are lucky enough to be able to play pretty much any role they want. AKA, as I said, Chaz Bono plays any role he wants pretty much. Obviously he has to get cast and all that stuff, but he gave himself the free will to play any character, and it does not have to be trans. Will not play a trans character, as I said before. So yeah.